Welcome back to this channel. My name is Giorgio Poggio. I'm the managing director of April UK, but also one of the director of the Italian Chamber of Commerce and Industry here in the UK. Today I have the honor to speak with Charlotte Firth. Good evening, Charlotte.
Hi, Giorgio.
Welcome to the channel. And Charlotte is a member of the Italian Chamber of Commerce and is also Global Mobility Tax Senior Manager at James Cooper Kreston. I said correctly?
Yes, correct.
So it's about your firm, it's about you, this conversation, to share with all our members what are you doing, what you can do for our members. And so I will start from my usual first question and ask to present yourself and your company to the community.
Great, yeah. So I'm Charlotte Firth, as you mentioned, and I'm a senior manager in our Global Mobility and Expat Tax team at James Cooper Kreston. So my background is that I graduated with an MA in French, German and Italian from the University of St Andrews, and then studied for a master's at Bath in interpreting and translating. I then took a slight, sidetrack and joined KPMG's tax graduate scheme, where I qualified as a chartered accountant and tax advisor. And I worked in their global mobility tax team there for about 5 years, so advising corporate clients with large global mobility programs on their assignees' tax positions. And then after that, I joined James Cooper Kreston because they gave me an opportunity to combine my language skills with my tax experience. So now I work on a wide variety of clients, so private international clients and corporate clients.
So both private and corporate.
Yeah, exactly, kind of hybrid.
So I need to tell to all the community to pay attention with Charlotte Firth, perché parla benissimo anche l'italiano, am I right?
Sì, grazie, sì, un po'.
Very well. So the next question will be, it's clear what your company does, but maybe can you elaborate a little bit more what James Cooper Kreston does in the UK?
Yeah, so as a firm, we're accountants and business advisors, and we're based in the southeast of England. We're also members of the Kreston network, which is a global network of international accountants. So in the UK at James Cooper Kreston, we've got 30 partners and directors and about 200 or so staff, providing full service of accounting offerings. We've just celebrated our 100-year anniversary, so we've been going for quite some time, and started out in Newbury and then expanded offices into Southampton, London, Oxford, and Reading. I think that's all of them. So yeah.
How's your company position in the British market? I mean, in the sense compared to your competitors, how do you rank?
Yeah, so we're a top 50 firm, a regional firm. So obviously we're not in the north of England, although with the Kreston network we do have partner firms in other regions of the UK, and we have a strong presence particularly in London and the Thames Valley area. So I think what sets us apart is the fact that we have a wide range of experts that have often come from Big Four backgrounds, so we can provide that level of expertise, but with a sort of small firm personal service feel and more flexibility. So that's the difference I've noticed in coming from a big firm.
As a simple example, I'm an Italian company. I just recently set up here in the UK. What you can offer to me?
We could obviously assist you with your personal tax position if you've also moved to the UK, in terms of looking at UK tax, residency and tax implications for you personally. If you want to set up an entity in the UK, we can actually set up and create that company and open it with Companies House, do all of the company secretarial work, run the accounts, corporation tax return, VAT advice. So really most things you would need in terms of day-to-day running of your business, and any other advice you might want on any personal or business matters. We can also run payroll if you hire staff in the UK, so just regular UK payroll, or in my end of the business, we get involved with advising on specialist expat payroll schemes if you're bringing in employees from overseas. And I guess on that side of the business as well, where I would get involved is advising employees if they're moving to the UK on their tax implications.
We have faced recently Brexit. Nobody is talking, unfortunately, about Brexit or COVID today. Everybody is talking about Ukraine and Russia. Unfortunately, I would love to talk about COVID or Brexit. But looking back in the last 2-3 years, what have been the greatest challenges that you had to face and solve?
Yeah, and we haven't seen too much impact, I would say, in terms of Brexit in a negative sense for our business. In fact, for me, it's meant more work because I've got lots of corporate clients whose employees have ended up, because of COVID, not being in the location they thought they would be in, or returning to home countries elsewhere in Europe. So we've had a lot more advice. With COVID, and maybe because of Brexit, I would say assignments of individuals to the UK kind of died down a little bit a couple of years ago, but it seems to have picked up since. And it's just about getting the right advice and making sure that clients are aware of the changes or slight changes to social security regulations for inbound assignees. So I think the UK still remains an attractive destination for overseas businesses and entrepreneurs. I think especially for entrepreneurs in terms of the ease of setting up companies. So we've still seen a lot of inbound traffic.
Do you have any Italian customers in your portfolios?
I do, yeah. So I have a few. So I have a mix of kind of British expats who have moved or are moving to Italy, companies who have employees who have gone back to Italy or relocated to Italy, and a couple of Italians who have moved and set up business in the UK. So yeah, I do have a few, and that's just, I guess, what I deal with personally. I think there are probably wider interests in the firm.
Did you perceive any difference in the bureaucracy between Italy and UK?
Yeah, so I remember when I was studying and working in Italy, having to go to various offices to get different forms and things stamped. So it's definitely different from the UK system, and I think in terms of bureaucracy and timescales. But I mean, HMRC has its own quirks in the UK. It's probably just a slightly different way of doing things.
I would say, you can't say, but I would say completely different and much better, but that's another story. And I would like to ask you one more personal question. So about your career path, how you get there, and what is your advice to the young generation? Because this channel is followed also by people from universities that are looking for career advice, but also opportunities, not only in Italy but all around the world. And UK is one of the place to be.
I think so. Obviously, I studied languages, so going into tax is not necessarily the logical next step, and it was definitely a challenge for me after not having done any maths since GCSE maths at the age of 16. I'd say definitely it can be maybe perceived as a bit off-putting to go back into completely different types of skills. But I would say for anyone who's studying languages or is a linguist, not to be put off by that, because it's a really interesting area with lots of opportunities, especially for people who can speak other languages. Don't think it's just all numbers. It definitely isn't, although numbers are important.
It's also relations, I believe, and also learning how to speak and talk with people and understand people's needs. Yeah.
So it's very. I'd say my day-to-day job is very client-led, and also a lot of it is more. It's more about explaining technical subjects in language that people can understand, whether that's in English that is comprehensive to most people, or in their own language. So, I'm lucky enough to work in a very multilingual team. We have 4 French speakers, and we can also advise in Italian, Spanish and German. So, it's not every language, but it's,
the most common European
yeah,
language.
exactly. We can help quite a few clients in their own language. Even if their English is actually pretty good, sometimes they just want to make sure they fully understand.
So today we have been with Charlotte Firth and the Global Mobility Tax Senior Manager at James Cooper Kreston. If in case you need to be in contact with Charlotte, you will find in this video the emails and the telephone number of the company, and I really invite you all to get in contact and get the advice from this company, which is a member of our Chamber of Commerce. Charlotte, thanks a lot. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, likewise.
See you soon.